Hey, Muffin here. I had a subscriber request to put together the top 5 easiest tanks to ace. Now, I know there's an event going on for the E75 TS. Hopefully this helps. There's actually there's different factors that go into helping you farm aces. Some of those a lot of it's based on how to do this is getting the most amount of EXP in a battle more than 99% of the players that have played that tank in the last 7 days. So Medzi did a great video on how to get aces. I have a link to the description below, but I'm going to go into the top 5, what I believe are the most helpful tanks for you to easily get aces, even during this event or just in general. And some of these also just I'm going to break this up in terms of top 5 for just tech tree tanks, top 5 collectible, top 5 for premium tanks, just because there are some free-to-play players, just so there's kind of a roundabout understanding of what those tanks are. A lot of this is all off blitzstarsdata.com, and there's a couple factors I'm going off of that could really make it the easiest way to get aces. So number one is if you look at your tank stats and you go and you look at what tanks you categorize by clicking on the star and ranking them, you can see which tanks you actually earn overall the most EXP with on average. If you play those tanks most likely fit your playstyle the best, and that could also help you farm those aces. And then the other factor is when you go in and you look at the least amount of players playing a tank, and maybe also the least amount of players owning a tank, these are also some factors that could help you because they're not played with as often, or the least amount of players own these tanks. If you own them, great, that could help you. Or if you have some of these tanks where the least amount of players are playing these tanks, that could also help you too, because obviously if there's not that many people playing with these tanks, it's going to actually help you increase your chances of getting those aces, because it's going to be easier for you to get a higher EXP on average, or just experience points on average over the last 7 days of 99% of players, because that number's fewer. So anyway, going over that list, the tech tree ones currently off of BlitzStars data that are the least played is right now the Samoa SAU 40, the STRV M42, the Chi 2 SPG, which is actually surprising because I think that's a great tank, the Lago, and the M5A1 Stewart. So that's the tech tree. Those are the least played, and you can see the data and just kind of results. This data I have on the screen is categorized in terms of the least played currently. So you can kind of look at this list. I didn't really mention in terms of like the Vickers or British Light, the newer tech line, as more experienced players are sometimes kind of up in those ones. In terms of collectibles, the least played is the P4306 Anniversary, the Eraser BP44, the Thunder, the Valentine AT, and the Super Conqueror. And then for premium tanks, the ones that are the least played is the T2020, the SU130PM, the T54E2, and then the T6E1. And so those are some tanks right now going off of top 5 premium, collectible, and tech tree tanks, collectible and premium, that are the least played. Once again, you can see these stats. And then also going over, these are the tanks owned by the least amount of players. Now, this one's a little bit more niche because a lot of you may not have these tanks, but if you do, the least amount of players own these tanks, and that could also help increase your chances of getting a mastery, just because once again there's not as many players playing these. So anyway, like I said, if you're looking to learn how to ace tanks. Medsy did a great video on that. I've got the link below in the description. Hopefully this video helps with the event currently. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.